Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a super interesting topic that a lot of people have been asking about. Why are so many Jamaicans leaving the United States and returning home? You might have heard about this trend, maybe from family members, friends, or even online. It seems to go against the classic American dream narrative that so many have chased for decades. But is it a real trend, or is it just a few stories making a lot of noise? Let's find out. Grab a drink, get comfortable, and get ready to have your mind blown with some facts and real life stories. Before we get into why people are going back, we need to understand just how big the Jamaican community is outside of Jamaica. For over a century, Jamaicans have been leaving the island in search of better economic opportunities. This movement really took off in the 1960s thanks to the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965 in the US, which made it easier for people from the Caribbean to move here. Did you know that the Jamaican diaspora, that's all the Jamaicans living outside of Jamaica, is estimated to be over 2 million people? That's almost as many people as live on the island itself. Over 1.1 million of those are right here in the United States. For a long time, the US was seen as the land of opportunity, a place where you could build a better life for yourself and your family. And for many, it worked. Jamaican Americans have a higher median household income than the US average, $62,044, compared to $57,761 in 2019, and a lower poverty rate. They also have a strong focus on education, with many working in management, business, science, and the arts. So the question remains, if they're doing so well, why leave? The decision to return home isn't just about what's happening in Jamaica. A huge part of it is about what's happening right here in the US. Let's talk about the push factors, the things that are motivating people to leave. One of the biggest push factors is the cultural and racial shock. Think about it. Jamaica is a majority black nation. There's no history of racial segregation like there is here in the US. So, when Jamaicans come here, they're often unprepared for the racial prejudices and discrimination that exist in a white majority society. Many feel a constant pressure to fit in, and they're forced to navigate a complex racial identity. This can be mentally and emotionally exhausting. Here's an example. An attorney from Jamaica who was highly qualified and had experience in two different countries found it jolting that she couldn't find a job in her field here in the US. She had to take a survival job just to make ends meet. This is a common story. Many skilled professionals find it difficult to get their foreign degrees and credentials recognized, which can lead to a lot of frustration and disappointment. For these people, the American dream can feel more like a constant struggle. They're often stressed out and traumatized, and the pressure of fulfilling generational expectations can lead to burnout. And that's when they start thinking, is this really worth it? In another case, a foreign trained lawyer or doctor may have to complete an entire US residency program or pass the bar exam all over again. Completing additional coursework. Professionals may be told their foreign education has gaps and are required to take specific US courses to fill them. A catch-22 situation. Many states require US work experience to get a license, but it's nearly impossible to get a job in the field without the license. This leaves many professionals in a state of professional limbo, unable to use the skills they spent years developing and forced to take lower skilled survival jobs just to support their families. Beyond the logistical hurdles, Jamaican immigrants often face subtle and overt forms of discrimination in the workplace. Because Jamaica is a black majority country, many immigrants may not have experienced racism in the same way before arriving in the US. A survey by KFF and the Los Angeles Times revealed that 56% of employed black immigrants reported experiencing at least one form of discrimination or unfair treatment at work. This is a higher rate than that reported by Asian, 44%, and white, 31%, immigrants. Specific forms of discrimination included fewer opportunities, nearly half, 47% of black immigrants said they were given fewer opportunities for promotions or raises compared to US born workers. Unequal pay. About a third, 31%, reported being paid less than US born employees for doing the same job. Accent bias. Having a Jamaican accent can also lead to bias, as some employers may perceive it as a sign of lower intelligence or a lack of professionalism, even when the individual speaks English fluently. Hence, it is possible to meet a Jamaican who has thrown away the accent to gain acceptance. These experiences can create a constant mental burden. The feeling of not being judged on merit or skill, but on race and origin, deeply clashes with the idealized American dream narrative and contributes to the emotional exhaustion that makes the prospect of returning home so appealing. So, what's drawing them back? It's not just an escape from the US. Many are returning to Jamaica because of the powerful pull factors, the things that make the island so appealing. The number one pull factor isn't about money, it's about a return to their cultural and spiritual roots. People who've returned often talk about a desire to find peace, joy, and wellness. They talk about waking up to the sound of birds instead of sirens and hearing the ocean instead of the news. It's a desire to feel more alive and more free. For many, it's about trading the financial gain of the American dream for a deeper sense of self and community. But there are also economic reasons. Many in the diaspora dream of owning a piece of home soil. They use the money they've earned or the equity from their homes in the US to buy properties in Jamaica. This is a huge driver of the Jamaican real estate market, and the government has even created programs to help. The Returning Residents Program, for example, gives people a break on taxes and duties for things they bring back with them. The government also works with a group called Jampro to help diaspora members invest in different businesses and industries on the island. This is a win-win for everyone. Now, here's where it gets real. The return to Jamaica isn't always a smooth ride. There are significant challenges, and we need to be honest about them. The most alarming challenge is the issue of targeted violence. A number of returning residents have been brutally murdered, which has caused a lot of fear among the diaspora. Criminals often see returnees as wealthy and often naive about security, making them soft targets. This is a heartbreaking reality that makes many potential returnees think twice. The government has been working to address this. The Jamaica Constabulary Force has appointed special officers to handle these cases, and the murder rate has been going down in recent years. But the psychological impact of these stories still haunts Jamaicans abroad. There's also social friction between returnees and locals. Some locals believe that those who left are rolling in cash and are out of touch with the struggles of daily life on the island. This can lead to tension over things like the cost of living and can make reintegration difficult. And finally, there's the economic reality. While the Jamaican economy is doing well, many returning professionals have to take a significant pay cut. This is a major hurdle, especially for those who are not yet at retirement age. It's tough to trade a high-paying job in the US for a much lower-paying one in Jamaica, even if the quality of life is better. So, is there a mass exodus of Jamaicans from the US? The data says no. Jamaica is still a country of net negative migration, meaning more people are still leaving than returning. However, the Great Reversal is a significant and growing trend. It's a cyclical movement driven by a complex mix of disillusionment with the American experience and a powerful pull toward a more peaceful and authentic life in Jamaica. It's a story of brain drain and brain gain, a story of Jamaicans leaving to gain skills and capital, and then returning to reinvest in their homeland. The future of Jamaica's development is truly linked to its diaspora, and it's a fascinating story to watch unfold. Thanks for tuning in. What do you think about this trend? Would you ever consider leaving the US to return to your homeland? Let me know in the comments below.